Yo, 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 what's going on, good people? What's going on, good people? This is your homie HerbMan, and you're tuned in to a new episode of, you guessed it, Herb of the Day. Hey, man, go tell somebody your boy HerbMan is on, and we have a brand new herb of the day for you guys, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the information that we're going to bring. Again, this is more of a women's health herb. But guys, you probably want to know this information because it may be one of your turn to take care of that woman one day, and you need to know exactly what she may require if the situation calls for it. All right. So without further ado, man, we want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the logo right on the screen there, and then hit that notification bell so that you never ever miss a daily episode of Herb of the Day show with your homie HerbMan. All right, so let's go ahead and switch around this screen, man, and let's get right into the herb of the day. In 1 second here, guys, let me know when you can see the screen here. All right. So again, this is the Herb of the Day show with your homie HerbMan. Now let's get right into what is our herb of the day. Okay, so we see that this herb comes from America. Okay, the origins of it is America. It is a perennial plant, and it grows in warm climate, and it grows to the height of about 1 meter. And we are talking about blue cohosh. Okay, blue cohosh. So you guys have probably heard of black cohosh. Well, this is blue cohosh. All right, and just ironically, both of them are very, very good for the female reproductive system. Okay, so again, you can see the little green leaves here with the little blue bulbs or the little blue fruit that grows on it. Almost look like a bilberry or a blueberry, but again, it is blue cohosh. All right, now let's look at some of the historical usages of blue cohosh. All right, now the common name is blue cohosh. It also is squaw root. Okay, and another common name is papoose root, and the scientific name for blue cohosh is Caulophyllum thalictroides. That's Caulophyllum thalictroides. Okay, and normally the parts that are used with blue cohosh are going to be the roots and the rhizomes. Okay, those are going to be the parts of the plant that carry the most medicinal value. But again, pretty sure there's a lot more to this plant than what meets the eye. Okay, so let's kind of delve into it a little bit and see exactly what are some of the actions here of blue cohosh. All right, we see that it is a anti-inflammatory action. Okay, and that just basically means that it's going to help us fight against any type of pain, inflammation that we may be experiencing. Okay, also too is going to be antispasmodic, and this is particular to the womb area. So when you're talking womb, you're talking basically about the uterus. Okay, so this is going to be very good at helping stopping all of the convulsions or the contractions that may be happening voluntarily or involuntarily in the uterus area. Okay, so it's very good for that. It also has the actions of it being an oxytocic or oxytocin. And that pretty much is just a chemical substance that is pretty much initiated during your labor pains. Okay, when you're going into labor, this chemical pretty much tells the body when to contract and how to do all of that series of events so that you can birth your child. Okay, so it's very, very unique in having that particular chemical reaction to it, or that chemical substance in it. It also too acts as a emmenagogue. Okay, and emmenagogue is pretty much an herb that stimulates and normalizes your menstrual flow. Okay, so it stimulates as well as normalizes the menstrual flow. It also acts as an anti-rheumatic, so it means it's good for rheumatism, joint pain, things of that nature. All right, and it also has been known to be excellent for relaxing and stimulating the nervine for the womb, and these are your nerves. Okay, all the nerves that are going to your womb area, it will bring about a particular relaxing and stimulating effect to it. And so that's pretty good, especially when you're going into labor and you need to relax as much as possible. These are going to be the herbs that you will use to help that whole series of events out. Okay. Now, also too, its principal influence is on the generative system and the sympathetic nervous system. Okay. And so this is a great thing because it's one of the few herbs that really are geared toward the sympathetic nervous system. And if you guys don't know a whole lot about that, you really do need to know about your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, what it has to do all with the thyroids and everything. It's kind of your whole messaging system. It's your fight or flight. Has a lot to do with your endocrine system and your endocrine glands. And so you definitely want to do your research when it comes to sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. But again, this herb is going to be something that is going to influence and have a positive effect on all of those particular systems, as well as it's going to be soothing and imparting tone to each of them. Okay. Now, North American women gathered this particular herb along the trails for easy childbirth and to promote rapid recovery after you had conceived. So it's just not only been given for pregnancy, but it was not given before pregnancy. It was given after pregnancy, or when you're halfway into your pregnancy and you're about to go into labor. This is kind of when blue cohosh was given. Okay, it was given for great exhaustion before labor with feeble results. Okay, so feeble meaning not too strong. Okay, of the results that you were looking for. Now let's see here what some of the recommended uses or some of the historical uses are. Excuse me. Early American settlers and Indians claimed its power to prevent premature labor and miscarriage. Okay, it prolonged painful labors. Okay, indicated in labor with no expulsive effort and to counter false labor pains with bearing down sensations in the abdomen. So this would kind of counteract some of those false labor pains. Okay, and pretty much, when you have false labor pains, or when you did not want to have a premature labor, then the early American people, including the Indians, this is what they used to prevent miscarriages, early labor, to get you through the whole term. Okay, and not only get you through the whole term, but even after you conceived, this also was used so that you could bounce back at a more rapid pace. So just to kind of get that clarified for you guys. All right, now Dr. Farrington knew a single dose to arrest them after lasting several hours. Okay, for persistent amenorrhea and to increase menstrual flow. Okay, so it was used for persistent amenorrhea. Now, persistent amenorrhea or amenorrhea is pretty much scanty menses. Okay, scanty menses are when you're having periods here, there, and everywhere, but there's no rhyme or rhythm to them. You don't have them every month like you're supposed to. You don't have them on at the same exact time every month. So they're here and there and they're everywhere, and you can't really pinpoint them, but you do have them, but you just don't know when you're going to have it. And so for that, this blue cohosh was given so that it can kind of normalize, okay, that particular situation. And a lot of times when a person had a scanty menses, it was just not only it was here and there and everywhere, but it also too did not last as long as it should last. So let's say, for instance, a period should last 5 to 7 days. Let's say when yours did come, it only lasted 2-3 days and it was gone. All right, so that in itself, it doesn't go the time period that it should, and it does not come when it should. That is also a definition for scanty menses. So when you see this say persistent amenorrhea and to increase menstrual flow, is because you might, not only are you having it for 3 days, but you might have it light for 3 days. So you got all these variations. Okay, you got to where you're not having them at the same time. You're not having them for the same length of time. And also too, you're not even having any type of procession of it, any type of light to heavy to back to light. Now it's just either light or it's either heavy, one or the other, but it's not right. And so what that means here is that it was also used to increase your menstrual flow. Okay, if you had painful adolescent menses, this was given to you for menstrual disorders as well. Okay, so if you had a habit of having abortions or miscarriaging, this was given to you. Blue cohosh was given to you. All right. It was given for painful inflammation of the vagina. All right. And it was given internally as a douche. Okay. If you had adolescence leukorrhea, meaning you had a excessive white discharge coming from your vaginal area as an adolescent, you were given blue cohosh for that particular situation historically. If you were dealing with acute rheumatic pains of the menopause, okay? So now you're in your menopause stage and you're having rheumatism pains based on the fact that you're in your menopause, then you were given blue cohosh. And I know a lot of people out there who are in menopause are probably the people who've heard of black cohosh and blue cohosh. But like I said in the black cohosh video, you want to substitute black cohosh for a herb called baneberry, B-A-N berry. And really, when you're dealing nowadays in times, if you're dealing with menstrual disorders, you know, especially when you're talking about scanty menses, the best herb for scanty menses alone is going to probably be something like dong quai. All right, something like dong quai. All right, so you want to look into those particular things if you're dealing with those things now. All right, now it also says too that blue cohosh, if you combine it with motherwort, that was the combination that they used for rapid recovery after childbirth. So if you guys are looking into trying to bounce back, you know you're pregnant right now, and you're looking at what kind of herbs you can use, what kind of herbal remedies that are out there that you can use, because you don't want to do any, you know, chemicals in your body or anything like that, then look at blue cohosh mixed with a little motherwort. And we always say when you combine herbs, you want to do the exact same ratio for each. So if you're using 1 teaspoon of motherwort, you want to use 1 teaspoon of blue cohosh. Okay. Now, what are some of the recommended ways to prepare this? Okay. First of all, you're going to take it 3 times daily if you are in a situation where you need to use it. All right. Now, the recommended way for here is a powder form, and pretty much you can take it by capsule, or you can use the powder in a decoction. All right. Now, the recommended dose, if you're going to do that, is going to be 0.3 to 1 grams of this particular blue cohosh. Okay. They also recommend you doing it in a liquid extract form. Okay. You could do a 1-to-1 ratio and about 70% alcohol. And then you can dose that at about 0.5 to 1 milliliters. Okay. And lastly, you can do this in a tincture form. And we know that tincture is probably the most potent way to produce an herb or to extract an herb. All right, now this recommended way is to do 1 to 10 parts. All right, so it's going to be 1 to 10 ratio and about 70% alcohol. And you're going to dose that at about 1 to 2 milliliters if you definitely need to use this. Now, understand this little caveat note here. This is chiefly used in the latter half of pregnancy. Okay, so it's not used in the beginning. It's used very, very much toward the end when you are needing to induce your labor, when you're needing to, you know, when you're ready to go ahead and have that baby, and you're ready and you're saying, hey, look, you know, I'm ready to go ahead and have it. We need to go ahead and get this baby up out of me. And you want to induce the labor and also to maintain the labor pains, then this is what blue cohosh is truly, truly for. But because it is for these very, very much precious moments in our lifetime, this is going to be a no-brainer. Please consult your physician before touching this particular herb. Okay. Now let's look at some of the different ways blue cohosh look. As you can see, it's got the little blue bulbs here, looking like a blue light bulb right there, as well as how it buds. It basically comes from these particular buds here, if you can see them. All right, and this is how the leaves look over here to your right here. And so you have a few different levels of how you can view this particular blue cohosh. Now, again, this is going to be good primarily for labor pains. All right, and then I would suggest secondarily you can do this for menstrual disorders and things of that nature. But I mean, I would keep it at labor pains and scanty menses for pretty much everybody out there who wants to use blue cohosh. It really doesn't have too many more things outside of those particular 2 things that I would really suggest the herb for. I mean, you can go and like I said, do your own research and try to figure out what else it may be good for. But you know, honestly, this is just an infertility and osteoporosis type of herb here. Okay, now we suggest you use blue cohosh for what we consider it to be most effective for, and that is your labor pains and your menstrual disorders. Okay, and that pretty much is this herb. I mean, like I said, this is a very, very cool herb. It grows in America. So if you guys are in the climates that it grows in, which is in the warm, so when you're going through the summertime, California, all of your kind of warm climate type of states, you may be able to run into some of this blue cohosh laying around your backyards and things of that nature. So again, it's going to be very, very good for you to have this in your medicinal cabinet. You know, people are having babies all the time. They may not know about this particular herb, especially when you're talking about the labor pain part of it or the inducing labor pain part of it. And then when you're talking about your adolescents and your, you know, young adults that are having menstrual disorders or having menstrual problems and don't necessarily know what to do, or you guys are, you know, just looking at going to do prescription drugs and things of that nature. Well, this is a herbal alternative here for handling those particular situations. And so, hey, I would suggest you go ahead and do your research in it. And we definitely want to thank all of you guys for your support and continue to follow us and stay connected. I mean, I know that this is not the most, you know, entertaining subject matter. This is not the most entertaining subject even to be talking about. But again, this is going to be the most useful subject matter that we can take into the next generation. And so we're just trying to be catalysts on this and trying to bring this thing out. So continue to follow your homie, continue to subscribe, continue to tell somebody, continue to hit me up on all of the social platforms if you got questions. We've started this campaign called #AskHerbMan. So you guys can be a part of that. If you need for me to come on YouTube or come on Facebook or come on Instagram and go live so you guys could just shoot out all of the questions about herbs and about diseases that your hearts can desire, hey, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section and we'll try to get that going for you guys. I want to make this as interactive as possible. I definitely want to include you guys in every single aspect of this. So again, if you guys feel like, you know, being more interactive and being on Facebook or Instagram would be more of a vehicle for you guys to chime in, right? Let me know and we'll try to make that happen. I want to be able to be a resource for you so that you can know about herbs, so that you can know about diseases. Okay, this is an educational platform. All right, and so I want to make it as fun, as accessible as I possibly can to you guys so that you can get the wisdom and the understanding that herbs and nature bring to us via the universe. All right, so this has been your episode of Herb of the Day. I'm your homie HerbMan. And remember here, man, we love you and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And until next time, peace. Yes, sir.